Good evening, guys. This is Leffernan coming to you with another video. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be concentrating mainly on two separate things. It is enchantments and materials. What the heck do you, or how do you get them? And also, what the heck do you do with them? So, first thing we're going to look at is like the way that a lot of players play that actually have a huge amount of money on the real life and everything. They usually will go through and they'll just buy their way on up. So you have two different, groupings on your sales. One of them for materials, one of them for enchantments. Now, the problem with the packages that they offer through this game is that they are extremely centered on one type of material and you spend $250 on it. Which now it's really awesome because of the fact that you will get a crap ton of that one material and everything. And chances are you will get a high enough level material or combining them and everything to where you really never have to buy one of those again. So this is basically a way of like ensuring it's like, hey, if I really want some really great armor for the rest of the game, I'm just going to go through and buy my way and everything. You could literally go through and buy $250, $250, $250. And each one of these sales, you can tell that it has a different, basically material on it as far as that will help you in the game. Like this one right here, I always have a problem in the game going through and getting enough of this. But do I really want to spend $250 on it? Probably not. So you can go through and spend your way to where you get all the different materials and all across the darn game. So see how it's got all these different kinds and everything? This is to where, like, if you're buying materials and all, you're going to spend a ton of money in order to be able to upgrade your armor and stuff. Now, some of these are more worth it than others. Like, if you notice that, like, hey, I really need this one. And this is used in order to basically upgrade, like, the entire army's strength. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, then, maybe $250 is actually worth it. But you got to remember, whenever you're doing a piece of armor, you need 4 different materials at that level. Like this one right here, I need this for Swift Wayfare, but in order to collect resources. But I still need other ones in order to get there. Now, if this is the only category that you cannot find, then yeah, maybe further on down the line, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to spend $250. But for right now, there's no point. So you have the possibility in order to buy your way to it. The exact same thing with enchantments. You can go through and boost your guys entirely based upon like the type of enchantment or whatever, like boost your city, boost your scouts, boost your flying, all of your army and everything. So there's some enchantments that may be a little bit more worth it to you than others. Like, hey, if you want to get really good at archaeology, like, being able to raid crypts and have it to where it's super sped up and everything else like that. Maybe you can go through and help out Carter, like upgrade some of his armor and then put a really nice, enchantment on it that'll go through and help you out. But if you don't have really nice armor and everything, then why go through and waste some of the better enchantments on it? So there is armor specific for like archaeology that would go through and help you out, raise the level of your hero Carter. But then there's also enchantments that will go through and add on to it. We're not going to get into gems just because of the fact that, to be honest with you, I don't know what gems really do. I'm thinking the exact same thing, but there's no real separate category. And gems are so difficult in order to come by, so difficult in order to get, that it's kind of like, you know what, I'll just wait until I get further along in the game. Then I'll start trying them out and seeing if I can like go through and help it out. So what I did in the game was I figured out an area to where I'm like, okay, I want to get to this level and then I want to upgrade all my armor and everything. Now, if you see a Hellforge event, which I have a separate video over Hellforge and all, but if you see one of those events, then this really goes through and helps you out with your whole materials need. Because instead of going through and trying to get all these different materials, just do the Hellforge event, fight your heart out and everything, and then you could go through and you could get really great armor and all, and you don't have to go through and buy all these different things or raid crypts for the next like 10 years in order to be able to try and get to where like you have enough of this kind and enough of this kind and enough of that kind. You know what I mean? So there is multiple ways that you could go through and approach this, either by the I'm just going to raid crypts as much as I possibly can, and it's going to take a long time. You could go through and buy the packages of materials and enchantments and get it that way. Or you could just go through and have it to where, like what I did was I bought other packages, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So whenever you buy a package, right? So let's say that we're looking at revive your troops, and we're going to scroll down or whatever. At the bottom of revive troops, see all these different chests? Like you have them all in the green level or whatever. That means at best, the best possible materials that you might get out of that, you have a certain percentage of a chance of getting a green level. So I have a 5.1% chance. So if I open 20 chests, then I'll probably get one that will actually be on a green level. The rest of them will be at lower levels and everything, so they're not going to be as great. But it's still to where anytime that you build or that you buy a certain level of package, whether or not it's $9.99, $19.99, $49.99, or $250, there will be chests that will come along with it. Now, granted, it's more chests and a better quality the more that you spend on the package. So there is like that added bonus to it. But for me, I went through and I spent a lot of money on other packages, and it just happened to have materials in it. So I've been able to piece my way on up. Plus, I have a lot of clan members that actually like to go through and raid crypts. So that's another way to basically look at it. So this is one way, where you could do that. You could go through and just buy the thing singly outright, but then you're going to have to spend a ton of money for like, oh, I need this, and oh, I need that, and I need that, and I need that. I spent $1,000 in going through and upgrading store so that now he can resource like nobody's business. Oh gosh, you're doing that and everything. Seek help. Like therapy is an option. Probably be better off for you too. So then there's enchantments and everything, which the enchantments do the exact same thing. But what you do is you have to add it to your armor. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So that this way you're not like, what the heck? So right now we are under I got to try and figure out given my guys. Okay, I am under my Beowulf account. So right now I'm Tolly or whatever. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what, one way to do it that it takes a little bit longer. But if you're getting packages or if other people are getting packages, I'll show you exactly what it is. So under quests, so now I got to figure out which one is the quest button. Here it is. Okay, see how it says like 203 or whatever? And then we have all these daily jobs and everything. So basically, you have an option of whenever you're in daily jobs to go through and add more daily jobs in. So you can press this button down here. If you're doing it on your phone, it's up at the very top center of the screen or whatever. So, it's just a little bit different. But then look at what exactly these daily jobs do for you. Now, I'm in VIP mode, and that's the reason why it says free, free. Like, you don't have to do the actual task, but you do get the stuff from it. Now, I'm going to go through and just click these. And as you can see, there are different things that you're getting out of this. So I'm getting like some food up here for this one, and it has a green dot off to the side, which means that this is basically a green level. Like, they have different levels for each daily job to where like some of them are more profitable than others. Like, hey, we got 500 pieces of gold, but then if it's not a blue or purple level, then it might be like 100 pieces of gold. So as you do daily jobs, there are different things. We also have blueprints that you need in order to be able to upgrade your buildings. Every single 5 levels on your buildings, you need blueprints in order to be able to upgrade. This one right here is an enchantment. See how it has this symbol or whatever? I believe that's for collecting resources within your city, like the production of resources goes a little bit faster or whatnot. And then you can see that it has all these different things, like it has lumber, it has stone, it has more lumber. Those of you that originally started the game and you're like, oh yeah, daily quests was the only way that I really did anything, or daily jobs, and you had to complete the jobs. Well, that is time consuming as all heck. So what you could do is, if you're in VIP mode, let's say that other people are like buying stuff and they give you like VIP through part of the triumphal gifts, then you can have it to where you don't have to do all the extra work. So I have it in VIP mode because gosh knows I don't want to go through and do it. Like, from me buying a few packages, and then also I have a lot of clan members that buy packages or whatever, I got 315 extra daily jobs. And I have it to where at my current level of VIP, I get 8 daily jobs per ad. So I had roughly 2,520 daily jobs just sitting here. So I was like sitting in the living room, just going through and like click, 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 all the way through. All right, so that is our daily jobs part. That's a good way in order to be able to have it to where you can get the enchantments. You could get like lumber, gold, all sorts of different things. So if you have a lot of daily jobs that are just sitting around, make sure you go through and look at it. And for those of you who are like, well, I still don't know how to add it. Well, you go in here, click on daily jobs, and then you click add down at the bottom. I'm just going to do it one time just to demonstrate. You'll click use, exit out of that, and then you have more daily jobs that you have to go through and knock out. But for me, because I'm a VIP, I have the VIP status up here next to my character. That means that I don't have to complete the jobs. I just get the rewards for the jobs. All right, so now you know that you can either get enchantments and materials, well, mainly enchantments, through daily jobs or through the sales. And sometimes it'll be to where it just gives you the enchantment outright, or other times it'll be to where it's like, hey, you got a daily job, but then in the daily job, out of the 8 things, you might get 2 enchantments out of it. All right, so then let's go through and look at what exactly does all this mean. So we have a few different options, right? When we're looking at our forge, and it has like what exactly you can do, what don't you do, all that kind of stuff. So under workshop, now if you're on your phone, it pops up with 3 little icons. That'll be like, I click on the forge, and then off to the side, I'm going to demonstrate with my cursor, but I can't really show you because I'm on my computer, but that's the only way I can really film. So I click on this, I click on my forge, and then there'll be 3 different tasks that will come up. They'll be either update or craft or combine, like the workshop part. So then I get to the point to where I go into this. Now, for those of you that have been ignoring the blacksmithing, grouping or whatever for research, try not to do that. Like for me, I'm rushing in order to get to G7 on Beowulf's side. But if you're trying to combine, there is certain perks to the archaeology aspect, or I'm sorry, not archaeology, blacksmithing aspect that can go through and serve a purpose for you. Like right now, I have 35 of these, I have 5 of these, and it takes 4 put together in order to get 1 on the next level. But when you're doing blacksmithing upgrades, it increases your chance to where I might take 4 of these, put them together, but then I get like 1 of this over here, but I might salvage 1 over here. So when you're in the lower level, it's like, oh wow, I got an extra 1. But then when you get up to like these levels over here, it's going to make a big, huge difference as far as like, oh my gosh, I got an extra purple. I'm sorry, purple would be here. I got an extra orange. Holy crap. And that saves you a lot of time, a lot of effort, because if you think of it, you need 4 of these to get this. You need 4 of these to get this, 4 of these to get this, 4 of these to get that, blah, blah, blah. So think about it. Times 4, times 16, times 64, times 256, times 1024, times, 4,096, and then 16,300 and 82 or whatever, I think, if my math is correctly, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, something ridiculous or whatever. I know my math is off when I got up to here, but before that I was doing very spot on. So that's how many times you're going to have to get an enchantment of the lowest level in order to be able to get all the way up to the highest level. There is a reason why there's a difference in between players that have been playing a year or 2 years and players that have been playing for a month or 2 months. Because your enchantments, unless you're buying your way in order to completely take away all that time, there is no way for you to be able to get all the way the heck up here just off of like 2 to 3 months of playing. You'd have to get like daily jobs out the wazoo, in which case they're having to get them gifted to you from other people, and you probably have a clan that is like totally stellar and awesome, but it's most likely you're not going to be able to get even past this. So just keep it in mind. This comes with time. You'll get there. Don't spend all the extra money on it or whatever. But make sure that you're looking at your daily jobs and whether or not you can add, because this way you can get a little bit closer. Now, what I did was I tried to figure out, okay, once I hit this level or I hit this level, then I'm comfortable with going through and taking from here and adding it to my armor. So here's the problem, right? If you go through and you're upgrading your armor, right? So let's take a look at our different heroes, or I'm sorry, our different captains. All right, so we're going to look at our captains and the armor that they're currently wearing. So let's look at Stror. Okay, so currently he has the light amethyst or whatever. He's got the hood, he's got the armor, and all this is helping him gather resources faster, which is awesome. Now, what I could do is that I could go through and basically be like, well, let me see if I can upgrade this a little bit. So this is for where the gems come in. So you would put a gem right here that would basically upgrade it. You can also go through and you can put an enchantment over here that would go through and upgrade it. So I'm just going to go through and act like I'm actually doing it, but I'm not actually going to do it because of the fact that I really, really don't want to mess with it right now. And also because I don't want to waste what I already have. So if I was to click on this, so it's going to pull up all my different enchantments and everything else as far as what I have. Now on the computer, it looks way different than what it does on the phone. On the phone, it would give me basically a listing by rows. So I would have it to where every single one of a certain type would be across. Like one row of this, one row of that, one row for this, one row for that. On the computer, it's very different. So you can see how, like, I have it to where all of my orange level, now granted, I don't know, I can't remember what the actual name is, but any orange level that I do have, I could go through and I could basically put it over here. So I'm like, hey, I got some oranges that I could always go through and move on over. But the thing about it is, if your armor is going to die or whatever, then you might want to go through and hold off on putting an enchantment on it. Or if you have it to where it's not the armor that you really want to like go through and like are going to have to upgrade anytime soon, and then you're going to have to dismantle and everything, then it's really not worth it to go through and add an enchantment onto it. I know on my Beowulf side that I only have a certain amount of time in that profile until, according to one of my other fellow clan members that answered this for me, he said that if you do a side account like you have to for Beowulf or whatever, then when you're done with that challenge, that account will still be there. And then you can take that account or that, profile and move that city to whatever kingdom that you want. So right now I am in a basically newborn baby type of kingdom and everything, number 113. When it comes up that that the kingdom is basically opened up to the world, and I have it to where Beowulf ends, I can take that one account and move it into the kingdom that I'm currently in for my main account. Now, for those of you that are just like, well, why would you want to do that and everything? Well, I could go through and I could have it to where I add it to, like, let's say, a clan that I'm allies with, so that this way it's like a gesture of good faith, like, hey guys, we're close, and I want to show you that I really appreciate your, alliance. And so I'm going to give you a player profile of mine that will support your clan that is very strong and everything that could go through and help you guys out. Or I could go through and basically ask my clan leader, like, hey, can I add this player profile? It's still me, but I'm going to add it into my into this clan. And then what I'm going to do with it, and this is like where my weirdly creative mind goes, I'm going to take this profile and I'm going to use it in order to help my other profile. So whenever you see like people doing a caravan and sending resources from one city to the next, I'm going to make this profile, my Beowulf profile, help my main profile in order to make it even better. Because some of my clanmates, they're really nice people, but they're also, people leave, people, do all sorts of stuff. Some people aren't as serious of players and everything. So I can go through and I can kind of load up my clan if I have multiple accounts or multiple profiles with extra stuff that will go through and help my main. And then my main account will grow even faster because of it. So for me, even though I have all these really great enchantments, Granted, I can't send them to my other player, but I know that I'm going to try and get higher up, and I'm going to try and wait for a Hellforge account or a Hellforge event in order to be able to get even better armor before I start adding these in. And then I'll go through and make it to where my armor and my enchantments and my gems are going to be really good. In the meanwhile, I'm okay with not being as good as I could be because I'm not facing off against anybody. I'm bubbled. So it's all about timing, people. When you go through and you start like putting together, different equipment or putting together like different enchantments or whatever, think about, are you ready to do that yet? Is this the best that you're going to do for a while? Like blue level for Stroor, I can keep blue level for a year and not be bothered by it because he's just gathering resources. If I had it to where it was more important of a player, so like let's say for instance, right, I'm going to take away Stroor and I'm going to move it on over to my Hercules. Now for Hercules, he does a really important job to where he is like strength against epic monsters is being really hugely added or whatever. So if I was to go through and add like an enchantment onto it right now, and let's say that I'm pretty happy with the fact that like, oh, my equipment's decent enough, I'm not going to be touching it anytime soon, but I really, really, really want to upgrade my ability to be able to knock the crap out of a epic monster, then this would be a good time to do it. So when you're looking at, like, there's a reason why they call it a strategic game. You have to think about what you're doing and not just do it. Like, I could go through and add an enchantment and everything, like, oh, okay, so let me see what we got. Increases the health of your scouts. Yeah, sure. I'll add, this on over to Hercules, but does Hercules ever command scouts? No. He's going to go through and basically be trying to help out with, like, big, huge mass fighting. Construction speed? No, I would not add that to anything that Hercules has. For this one, increases technology, research speed. Would I add that to Hercules? Heck no. So you got to think about like what would be ideal for this. Now I do have an orange level for research. So you know who I would probably add it to, right? I'm going to add it to the guy that all he ever does is research. So because of the fact that I have this golden crown, and I'm not going to use Farhad to fight. Let's be honest. This golden crown or flaming crown or whatever is going to stay on him the entire game. It's not moving. So if I wanted to add something, this will be something I actually add because I'm like, you know what? Orange level for increases, research speed, especially when I'm trying to complete 7. Oh, yes, I'm doing this. Let's add it. You need to research the following technology. Oh, dear God. Gem enchantment socketing 2. Okay, so this is where I'm paying the price for not having gone through and basically develop my blacksmithing materials or my blacksmithing research. So right now I've done great as far as guardsmen, but I've really ignored my blacksmithing. Now I'm going to show you exactly where I would have to get in order to get there. So combining gems, no. Gem and enchantment socketing 1. Gem and enchantment socketing number 2. So I have to get here in order to be able to add that on. Now, if I wanted to go through and add a low level, like let's say a green level, then I could go through and basically do gem and enchantment socketing number 1, like this one. You can use that on a green level. But when you're going for a much higher level and everything, there's a reason why there's so much stuff in it. Gem and enchantment socketing number 4. That's for probably like the yellow level, like the higher levels, like the ultimate levels. So I think it's like orange and then red and then yellow. Yellow is the highest. So I would need basically gem and enchantment socketing number 4 in order to be able to do it. I have it on my main account, but I don't have it on this one because I'm just taking all my points that I'm getting for Valor and plugging them into Guardsmen. It's making it more difficult in order to level up, but I'm doing it a heck of a lot faster and my troops will be better. So then when I'm fighting, and let's say I decide to start developing engineering cores or monsters, these things are going to get done level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 in a heartbeat compared to what it was the other way if I did guardsmen, monsters, engineering, blacksmithing, guardsmen, monsters, engineering, blacksmithing, or like, whatever. Just level 2, level 2, level 2, level 2, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3. You guys get my drift. This is faster by basically going through and just quickly going as fast as I can on guardsmen, and then I go through and I develop the other stuff. Trust me, it does make a difference. If I was to play it out, I guarantee you I would be able to go faster with the exact same amount of money as opposed to somebody that's doing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. I'm like 7. Okay, now I just got 6 billion valor from one fight. That does all level 2, all level 3, all level 4. Okay, level 5 took 3 more fights. Okay, now I'm level 5. And then you guys get the drift. So that's basically the way that I'm doing it. Now that you know what basically you could do for enchantments, it's also to where I want to show you what exactly you do for the blacksmithing. So you have the option in order to go through and craft equipment or whatever. But a lot of these different things that you see right here can be done through the Hellforge event. Like I can't do Warrior Ragnarok through Hellforge event, but I could do Empress Wrath, all this other kind of stuff. So a good idea for most players is when you get to that Hellforge event, play it. There is a reason why that epic monster gives you absolutely no valor. It's because of the fact that you're going to gain equipment that you would normally have to wait a year, or 2 years, or 3 years of playing the game in order to be able to get in the course of half an hour or an hour worth of fighting. That's the reason why it's so, why they don't give you the valor for it or whatever. So now you guys have basically all the different ideas on what exactly to do with materials and enchantments. The materials are basically used in order to craft better equipment. But when you're doing that and everything, I'm going to show you an example of it real quick. Just because there are some people that are probably still going to be like, well, what about crafting? Okay, so there is a button. There is a technology in blacksmithing and everything that you have to research that will allow you to pick what type of materials you use. So sometimes, and I'm going to go through and switch over to my other account in order for you to be able to see it. So let's switch on over. Sail across the sea, go to Leffinen. Zoom out a little bit. Yeehaw. Well, move the tripod back. Hey, at least it didn't make a farting noise this time. That's always a good thing. Otherwise, everybody's going to be like, Leffinen is gassy, mommy. All right. Here we go. So now we have, let's go over to our forge. Oh, there we get the party noise because the tripod moved. Craft equipment. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to do guardsman. Okay, so now granted, I'm using my computer, so I got to tell the difference or whatever. And I'm hoping that I don't go through and accidentally create something. See how I have a red level for this material? I have a red level for this material, but then this is orange and this is purple. I might want to have it to where I don't use... I think this might be for combining. Yeah, okay, so this is for combining. Oh, it does show it and everything. So let's say, for instance, that I wanted to do okay, since I have purple, but I don't have orange and red, what if I used this? And this, I don't have that one, unfortunately. But I could choose it to where, you know what, I'm just going to go with blue. The problem that what you have is let's say I have 3 oranges and I have 1 that's a purple. You have a chance that it's going to come out as orange, but the most likely chance of it basically coming through and being is going to be the purple. So you'll waste your orange level materials instead of being able to get all of it purple or whatever. So let's let's say, for instance, I was doing this for real. I would go through and combine these, and hopefully get up to the point where I have 4, which if I'm doing the math correctly, I would not be able to get there yet. And so that this way I can add 1 over here. Now, unless I got like magically saving or whatever. But you can basically pick what exactly you would like to do and then go through and actually be able to do it. So it might be better to just do purple, 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 or, you know, whatever. Don't go through and waste these really great red ones and everything just because you're like, well, there's a 5% chance that I might be able to get it. Like, look, it's got 20% chance right now that I would get equipment based upon this combination that would be orange. 1 in 5. If you've been taking forever in order to get the materials up in order to get to this, you definitely do not want to waste it on a 20% chance. Like, it's like, oh, red would be great, but the percentage is only 9%. No. You guys get my drift. So Hellforge is the best way in order to get your materials. Don't go through and do enchantments until you are completely 100% ready. It is not worth it. Like, I can't even tell you how many, ways it's not worth it or whatever. Like, just wait. Pick a time to where you basically are pretty well off equipment-wise, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger on my enchantments and then do it that way. There's always the route of going through and buying them through the sales, like whether or not you're talking about our materials or whether or not you're talking about the enchantments. But don't go spending lots of money on this stuff, guys. I know that it's a game to where people love to accelerate and get to where they can compete with the biggest, people out there. But there's also a limit. Credit cards are nice and everything, but when you're paying the interest on it for the next 12 years for that simple purchase and everything, and you have a 24% interest rate, trust me, you're going to be hating yourself later. So that's everything over materials and enchantments. I hope you guys actually learned something out of it. Trust me, I love, love, love it when I can go through and upgrade my armor or whatever. And I do have it to where in some different cases, like, my guys are upgraded. Like, I'll show you real quick, and this is the last thing I'm showing you. So if we're talking about, like, Farhad, and then I look under here and everything, I could go through and add a really good enchantment that might go through and help his research speed. But I think I added it to one of the other ones. I don't know. It's been a while. Anyways, yeah. For Farhad, I gave him the crappiest level of equipment because I was just like, yeah, I don't need him to have great equipment or whatever. So you guys get my drift. You understand, I hope. If you like everything about this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe, I don't care about subscribers. I honestly do not. I'm not going to make any money off of this. I would need to be way more popular, and I'm not that popular, so I don't care. And when it comes down to it, it's better just to be able to know, like, hey, he has a new video that comes out over this subject or whatever. I'm trying to do one over every single subject before I actually start doing any playing on here and showing you guys how I play, how to maximize your time on here, so that if you have it to where, like, you have a job and you have a life, or you have a wife and kids or whatever, then, or like, husband and kids, then you don't want to take a huge amount of time away from them. You do want to be a family person first. Real life is still better than on here, just saying. But anyways, you guys have fun. Have a good day, and I will see you later. Bye.